it is very, very cold where I live. Teseka na baridi nimeteseka. I've been constantly reminded that I am single and I live alone, and that I have not been having as much sex as I would like to have. And the weather is not making it as easy. It's not making it easier. It's so crazy. But today I want to talk about love and orgasms. I've done an explanation episode before, lakini ya leo nataka kuincorporate G-spot na P-spot. Nataka explain orgasms so that we're able to understand what exactly our bodies go through, or how we feel, or what's happening internally, and what exactly an orgasm means. Before that, are there any new changes in my life? My life is pretty peaceful and quiet. So there's not much drama or anything new to report, except that I just want to have this honest conversation about how the older I get, the more sex I want. My libido is increasing, but then my awareness is high. I am smarter than I have ever been. Like, I'm more responsible. So it means I feel like the more successful I become at everything I'm doing, and the more successful I come even in my body as a person, as a human being, not just materialistically, but just the more I grow and elevate myself, it's like the less people that are eligible to date. It's like you're able to keep relationships, especially heterosexual relationships. You're able to keep relationships only when you're maybe I don't know how to put it. Ni kama ukikuwa mjanja ship sana. If you ask too many questions and you're able to communicate your needs openly, so many people are shying away from that. So those that are stuck in relationships, it's like they are forced to settle so that these relationships can work, which is so crazy because it has me thinking, okay, maybe relationships are not supposed to last forever. Maybe tunafikishana mpaka pale tunafika. Ikifika part mtu mmoja ajiski kuendelea kuevolve ama kugrow, then it's okay to part ways. Other than that, I don't have any other updates on my life. I think I'll just give snippets of personal experience stories the more I continue to talk about orgasms and the G-spot and all that. So let's get started. So love and orgasms. When I picked the name Love and Orgasms, I think it was in 2019 or 2020. I used to have another blog which was called Bobby Bomb. It was on WordPress, and that's where I started out. I started out on WordPress before I was able to get my own website. So I was dating a software engineer at the time, and he really was an I can say I don't know, he was a nice guy. I think that's when I started dating really. I was hata sijui explain aje. But anyway, as I said, software engineer, meaning he was rich as hell. And I really enjoyed my relationship with him because for the first time, I was not the breadwinner in my relationship. Okay, that's a lie. I had been dating breadwinners before that. Let me just say, at that point, he was better than everyone else I had ever dated because he was just a nice guy who always wanted things for me. He always wanted me to succeed and to win. The relationship was mostly geared towards making sure I was comfortable and everything was taken care of. So Bobby Bomb ikafungwa kwa sababu of my sexual content. You see, the thing with talking about sex, posting about sex is I get shadow banned a lot. My views zinakatwangwa kwa sababu naongeanga juu ya sex. It doesn't matter kama ni sexual education ama kama ni porn. On social media, you get censored a lot. Always has been very difficult to put my name out there, even for opportunities. Because even when I approach companies, kama si sex affiliated, they're usually like, okay, I don't understand how we can work together. And it's so crazy to me how sex is such a taboo topic, when to me, sex is just like money. It's like talking about money, food. This is something people do every day, everywhere. All sorts of people, religious people, atheists, homeless people, rich people, everyone is having sex. But still the conversation is so censored. Sijui ndafanya nini na wish neza. I hope I'm trying to change this narrative in the little way that I can. But honestly, I wish I could cause this awakening everywhere where people are able to say, okay, let's talk about these things because these things are happening. So this guy, I told him about the issue I had. I used to have to mention an issue once, and he used to take care of it immediately. Man, I really normally miss him sometimes because he was very reliable. He was always present when I needed him. It was just really, really amazing friendship. I always enjoyed being friends with him. Kusema ukweli, I think money isn't things in relationships. So zile hamna pesa ama mko na stress ya hapo ndo mnakwanga na hizi mashida ndogo ndogo za oh you didn't text me bro. Even if he hadn't texted me, he had already paid for everything. Everything was taken care of. So I never felt like he was neglecting me or he was ignoring me. Pesa ni tamu. He offered to do the website for me. I told him my website is getting locked. I need your help. How can you? I didn't even tell him I need your help because I didn't even know what he really did for a living at that time. And then he told me, you know what? I'm going to build you a website. This man just went and built me my website, did everything, alipanga kila kitu, akatransfer kila kitu kutoka kwa hiyo website mzee, akalipa bills zote za hiyo website for like a year. He paid everything, security, domain name, hosting fees, all the fees that were ever needed, he paid. And he just gave me the password and told me, here, you can go ahead and use this website. he was and he would invite me to his home so that we'd chill out and create together and I could tell him what I was thinking. Well, I didn't know he really, really had a huge crush on me at that time because that's the first time we started hanging out. Well, by the way, when I was telling him about Ishida website, hata tumeanza kukatiana, he was just my friend and he did that for me. Imagine hata sijui kama ningelipa. And I didn't have money. This is when I was still living at home. I was very, very broke. God bless him wherever he is. So this guy, akanitengenezea, and I remember that day he gave me a call. He was like, I've finished everything you want. He really went all out for me. And he asked, what do you want to name this website? And I didn't have a name because yangu hiyo ingine ilikuwa inaitwa Bobby Bomb. Bobby Bomb was such a random name because my name is Bobby. My friend said, just call it Bobby Bomb, and that's exactly what I did. But then asked myself, what do I want to talk about? What am I doing? What's this awareness I'm creating about? And I realized my niche was relationships and sex. So I said, instead of calling it relationships and sex, words that are closer to those that zinaonesha naongea juu ya relationships na sex. So nikafikiria tu randomly, love and orgasms. I don't even know where it came from. I just said love and orgasms, and he said, are you sure? I had a few other names that I thought about for a couple more days, but love and orgasms felt like it fit, like it was perfect for this. And when I think about it deeper, it might seem like it's just about relationships and sex, but then love is a doing word. Love is a noun. It's a thing that happens. It's a feeling you have. It's a decision you make. It's a life you live. It's an existence. Love is freedom. It's being. There's so many ways I could explain what love is. And orgasms is usually the reward you get from sex, the reward you get from the relationship that leads you to sex. So love can create orgasms, right? So I just started thinking how, in this state of existence, how when we exist in love and we treat ourselves well and we just exist in freedom and we feel good and love is everywhere, the orgasms are the consequences of this proper love. So hii existence ya freedom na happiness na living a good life, being conscious, being aware, being present, being amazing, it comes with the rewards. It comes with you achieving the goals you want, you being able to exist as the person you want to become, you becoming a better person, making more money, becoming hotter, becoming sexier, anything that you might call a reward. It starts coming about when you start to truly exist as yourself and love yourself completely. So love and orgasms is a state of existence that brings rewards, like how ukidinyana unanat, ukidinywa unanat. You can't even make sense hapo. Lakini me, in my head, it makes sense. And so I thought today I'd start by explaining what orgasms is. And I've captured a lot of my research from Dr. Rena Malik. She's a urologist and a pelvic surgeon. She talks a lot about the body, the pelvic area, and how it's linked to the brain and the spinal cord, because she does a lot of spinal cord injury surgeries. And it's just fascinating to listen to her because I'm learning so many things about my body and how it all translates into becoming this pleasurable sex life. So, for me, for as long as I can remember, sex has always been a very spiritual experience. It's a state where I lose my mind and I go away. I go into another universe. I go to another planet in my mind. I mean, sex is as much physical as it is emotional and psychological for me. But Sasa, it just feels like I get into this deep state of consciousness and naendanga tu away. That's one way I'm normally able to tell if I'm having pleasurable, satisfying sex or if I'm just having sex that feels like nothing. The girlies understand what I mean. You can have sex with someone and you feel nothing. Nothing. It can be the biggest dick, the best. Hata sijui inaweza kuwa everything, but sometimes you just don't feel anything. It's not about the person you're having sex with, it's just the state of mind you're at in. And that's how I'm able to tell sex feels really, really right and it feels good for me. When I zoom out into another world. And so many people have been able to corroborate what I'm saying. And that's why so many people have this deep sleep after sex. You just go into another world. It takes you elsewhere. It's like a whole trip. That's why sex for me has to be a certain way. It has to make me feel a certain way. It has to feed my soul, my heart, not just my body. You could give me the biggest, best dick, but if I feel no connection to that person or that situation, it's just going to be a dick. It's not going to do anything for me. And I try to teach people how to have such amazing sex that blows your mind and takes you out of this world. There's this guy I was seeing a couple years back. We had a sexual relationship. And when I was into him, I really, really was obsessed with the sex. The sex was amazing and I loved it. But when alianza tu ukora, akaanza hiyo, oh, I'm busy, I don't reply messages all the time, nini, nini, nini. I just started detaching emotionally. And after that, sex just started feeling like sandpaper. It felt like nothing. It's like you even start to get disgusted that this person is touching your body and is there because there's no connection. It's just a dick. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but I'm sure so many girls can understand what I mean. I can speak for the girls. And I would try to explain to him that sex for me was a state of mind more than it was anything. I would try to show him that this is the emotional state that I needed to be in for me to enjoy sex, but he constantly kept destroying the connection. Inaishanga tu a natural death. Unachanga tu kufeel ni kama you're attracted to them anymore. I've realized anytime I have this conversation with men, they really don't get it. They don't understand. They're like there's another guy I was talking to Juicy and he was saying, music conversation, casual sex, nini nini unatumia toys, nani. It's like he was getting annoyed by the fact that I'm trying to advocate for sex that makes sense and satisfies women especially. So he was saying, he was trying to sell to me at, oh, unajua casual sex. And I was trying to explain to him, casual sex really does nothing for me. Okay, yeah, I might not, but then why? I don't want to have sex that hainifikishi mali nataka kufika. Iyo itanipea level 3 na najua naweza fika level 15. So what's the point? What's the point? My toy alone ni level 10 na hakuna emotional connection. Because I know there's no anxiety that's going to follow this sexual encounter. There's no feelings of guilt. There's no feelings of overthinking. I can just use my toy and sleep. I won't care about if my toy might have an STD, if my toy cares that those pills really fuck you up emotionally, if my toy is going to check up on me. I really have no time for that. It's safer emotionally and psychologically. There's no anxiety that follows the sex. When you get to experience sex that blows your mind and kind of alters you chemically, you'll understand what I mean. And you'll never really settle for anything less. It's kind of like salaries. You go to a job that pays you 20K and then you go to a job that pays you 150. You will never go back to a job that pays you 20K. You will never. What's the point? Because at this point, you've already learned how to make the money on your own in your own way because you must sustain your lifestyle, whether you have a salary or not. And that's something I'm also learning as an unemployed person who's running her own things and doing her own things, especially as someone who consistently speaks on sex and companies are afraid to partner with me because of the sexual intonation behind everything. Trust me, hakuna mtu uko na stress ka mimi wiki ya rent ikifika na bado lazima tu niishi sitaki kuchange lifestyle yangu, sitaki kushukisha value ya vitu mi hufanya, nataka tu kuendelea kuishi vizuri na kufanya vitu zangu, but I'm never in a state where I say, you know what, I'm gonna go back to a job that pays me 10K. Why? I can make, I have to, I have, your brain kind of adapts to a higher standard, and then you have to maintain it automatically. And that's how life is. I've seen so many people, I don't want to say this is right, but I've seen so many people have kids when they have nothing, and then they have a kid, and all of a sudden their life starts bossing up. Now they realized, or even people when they buy a car, they weren't really financially stable before that, but after that they know they have to have fuel, they have to service the car, they have to detail the car. It just comes, your mind adapts to improvements, and it keeps you on the frequency where you want better and you have to maintain better, especially when you're committed to a journey of just having amazing experiences that make you a better person in general. Sasa mimi, I already know how to have mind-blowing sex. There's no way I'm settling for sex that's mediocre or boring or inaboto. One of the ways to achieve orgasms is by figuring out erogenous zones. So erogenous zones ni zile zones kwa mwili zenye zinakufanyanga unakuwa stimulated. The areas in your body where if touched or if stimulated, they cause some kind of excitement or some kind of response. And this is because these areas are very sensitive for stimulation and arousal. Examples of these areas are like the mouth, the neck, the nipples, the anus. I'll talk about the anus because today I want to focus mostly on men, because men do not know about the G spot. I think it's important that I tell you guys more about that in time. But before that, so these erogenous zones, everyone has them. It's just areas where can be aroused through stimulation by either being touched or licked or tickled, because they're very, very sensitive. And these areas are very sensitive because of the nerve endings. Some areas on the body, other than zile zenye nisha mention, ni kama kwa inner thighs, or I realize that men really, really like when their nipples are sucked. They won't always let you know, but it's true. And also some people are also very sensitive behind the knees. Alafu kwa perineum. Inaitwa perineum. I hope inaitwa perineum. That space between the dick and the anus. Very, very sensitive when you lick it. I saw a tweet, some guy saying ati ati his girl used to want to scissor him like that, like her vagina on his perineum. Anyway, people are very creative when it comes to sex. And as long as you're able to find what you like, and that's why I keep advocating for people to try new stuff out. There's this guy I used to date a couple of years ago. If you go to my blogs, you can read about it. His name is Randy. I've written a couple articles about him. This guy, he used to only want traditional sex, like ile sex normal too. He would be adventurous, but most things I used to have to beg or to like try and coerce him. So it just became pointless. Sex yenye si free na natural, yenye lazima utry kuconvince mtu, let's do this, it's not safe, it doesn't feel safe anymore. And yeah, over time, just my attraction to him and me wanting sex from him ilianza tu kupungua, because most times we were never on the same page about stuff. I'm very willing to try new things out and to put myself out there, but he wasn't really the same. He was the opposite. He liked to have traditional safe sex. Na mimi, I think I'm a bit too wild for that at this point. I mean, missionary na bamba, but you know, the more comfortable you get, the more you want to try new things out with your partner. He wasn't having it. And actually, sex with him is what made me realize I was done with casual sex kabsa. Like, I couldn't do it anymore because I wanted to be with someone who I was able to tell things like this. Also, you can't do such things in one night stands. I mean, you can, but I mean, you can't have the conversation that leads to consent before you do it. And that's also something that has become very important to me. Consent, us having sexual conversations before we even jump into the sex. It's very important to me. This is why before I sleep with someone, I always become their friend first. Most of the people I've had sex with, I was friends with them for 2, 3, 4 years even before I had sex with them. Sex is such a big deal for me, and it's not that everything has to be perfect. It's just if I can help it, if I can be a bit more responsible so that I can be able to enjoy the kind of sex that I want, then I have to do these things. I have to be intentional with sex. Izo siku za oops kind of sex imeisha. I can't really do that anymore because now I'm a grown up and I have to be responsible. Brain scans have been done when people were doing these types of research, and in the brain, the places that activate when you're feeling pain are linked usually the same with the places that are activated when you feel pleasure. And that's why sometimes people link pain and pleasure to each other. So a lot of things happen when you're orgasming. The way your body feels, it can activate like unintentional sounds. It can make your body shake. It can make you release fluids. It can make orgasms are just a whole thing. That's why you really have to be comfortable with the person that you're. This is my opinion. Maybe niko shy. Lakini mina feel if you want me to get nastier with you, the nastier you need me to be, the more comfortable and safe I have to feel. So the G spot, for me to explain the G spot, I kind of have to talk about the anatomy of the female body a little bit. Let's start with the clit. I hope you guys know what the clit is or where it is. If you don't know, please, you'll have to Google clitoris and then you see. The clit, its makeup is similar to that of the penis in men, dickhead. They can be likened to each other because they're very analogous. And actually, they do develop from the same tissues and they have a lot of nerve endings. The same way the penis reacts during stimulation is the same way the clitoris reacts during stimulation, sexual stimulation especially. It gets enlarged during erection. It gets engorged with blood. They have so many similarities. It's like they're the same thing. It's just different in the XX chromosomes and in the XY chromosome. So every woman has three holes. The urethra, this is where the susu comes out of. The vagina, this is where the baby comes out of, which is the birth canal. And then the anus. Inside the vagina, there's a lot of nerves. You should listen to the episode where I talk about squatting. I kind of explain what the Skene's glands is because this is where the fluid for female squat comes out from. So kwa your Skene's glands, the more unakuwa sexually aroused, the more fluid in a buildup. And how to make a woman orgasm is by applying pressure on the Skene's glands. Ukiapply pressure hapo ita release na hapo ndo sasa squat inatokanga. I felt good, but I didn't really. Is it nothing? I can say I came, but I didn't really orgasm. And he knew because I'm a squatter. And he was so disappointed. He was like, I failed. And that made me realize this guy, men are really interesting. I realized a long time ago, being in this sex industry, I realized that some people have sex with you because they like the way you look. It's nothing deeper than that. Or for whatever reason, they want to have sex with you. And sometimes they want to have sex with you to conquer you, like to make you nut, to make you orgasm. And if they don't do that, then they feel like they've failed or like they've not achieved what they wanted. And it kind of annoys me because it makes me feel like I'm an experiment. Because Kitambo, because of my blog, most men would want to associate with me or to sleep with me just to say they slept with me, just to say they made me squat. And it's like, bro, sex is so much more than me squatting, than you being able to say you made me squat. Sex is how comfortable did I feel? Was I safe with you? Did it feel good? Did I enjoy the whole process? It's not just, and I realized for men, it's mostly about the coming, the nutting. But for women, it's about the whole experience. It's about from the beginning, like how you speak to me, how you made me feel throughout the day, the foreplay, the way you treat me, the way you make it's a lot of things. It's not just meeting and fucking and then I nut. Akisiji could explain. I keep talking about it and nobody really understands. But as long as the girls understand what I'm saying, then it's okay. I feel hard. It's literally a whole process. When I noticed he was like that, and I noticed even when we got to having sex, he was very present. He was not like gone. You know how when you have sex and it takes you to another dimension? He was having sex with me like I was. Ni kama yani anani observe, anaangalia reaction yangu, anataka who the other person is or what they're feeling or what's going on. Sex is supposed to be a mutual thing. I'm not supposed to leave that place feeling like you fucked me, like you used my body to nut, or you're just trying to get a satisfaction out of making me nut. It's supposed to be a wholesome experience where we're both deeply enjoying the process together. And this is where the G spot comes, because once I see someone is trying to experiment with me, I also pull out G spot discussions. In the men it's called the P spot because it's the prostrate, but I'll get to that in a bit. When you apply pressure hapo kwa skin glands, that's how you squat higher. So let's move to the men. The men also have something similar to the G spot, and it's called the P spot. This is the prostate gland, the male G spot, and it can be reached using a finger. People who do butt play or ass play, they know what I'm talking about. I have an episode on anal sex. I link it in the description so that you can get to understand more about that. It's just below the bladder. The same as the G spot in women, very close to the bladder. The skin glands is very close to the bladder. In men, it's just below the bladder. And when you stimulate the prostate gland, it causes intense orgasms. And it's very sensitive to the touch. When you just apply pressure like this to the prostate gland, it causes the craziest orgasms. Like I said, I'm a very open-minded person, and I like to have sex with people who are also open-minded, because then you get to try so many new things and you get to enjoy so much together without any fear. You guys can bring things up. If someone is not comfortable, cool. But then I always say, don't knock it till you try it. Like for the men, the prostate gland is inside the anus. Iko kwa haga. But most men, they feel like butt play emasculates them, like it's gay or like it's disgusting. But they're just refusing to acknowledge that when you stimulate the prostate gland, which is in the anus, it causes orgasms. Once you get to experience that kind of orgasm, I promise you will never settle for less. I used to date some guy. I've dated a lot. I used to date this guy who, the first guy I ever had butt play with. And I really, really used to enjoy having sex with him because he was so open minded. We used to try so many things. He actually taught me so much about sex. And he let me do stuff on him, try things on him. And I realized I actually enjoy that kind of stuff. I enjoy seeing my partner enjoy sex, not just do sex to me. Like I love to see them enjoy the sex. And then when I saw his body reaction to me fondling with like the rimming stuff and the milking stuff and massaging his prostate, when I saw that, I was like, well, this is something I really, really like. This is a pleasure I would love for my partner to enjoy. I haven't really ever done it again since then. This is like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, because I've not been having consistent sex. But then again, I've not met a partner who I've been comfortable enough with to even bring such things up. So I hope I start dating soon and I'll date an open-minded person who I will have lots of sex with and who will let me do all these things with them. So let's talk about ways in which to improve sex and maybe help you achieve orgasms. So people have talked about a lot of things that make them reach this space where they're able to enjoy sex. And I just want to touch a bit on it. Sex, largely for me, it's an issue of security and comfortability. As long as I feel really, really good being around you, then anything goes. But kama hakuna connection, ngumu sana kwa sababu siezi ongea, siezi communicate. One of the best ways to improve your orgasms is through relationship satisfaction. Relationship satisfaction, it builds a really, really safe connection for you, which enhances communication between you and your partner. It makes sex easier because if you're happy in the relationship, especially like for the both of you, if you got, let me say both, assuming you're just having sex two people. If you two people in the relationship are satisfied with the relationship, happy, you're enjoying the relationship, there's not much stress going on, then automatically the orgasms are better. If you guys are friends, you care about each other, there's just a better connection between each other. It improves your sex life automatically. That's why I keep telling people you need to work on yourself so that you can be the kind of person who's able to exist in safe relationships so that you can attract safe relationships so that you can be able to enjoy sex better. Whatever you want to call it, whether ni hiyo situationship unapenda ama sijui ni nini ama sijui whatever, as long as you feel safe and you're satisfied and you enjoy it, you don't feel used, you don't feel manipulated, you're not anxious, you're not worried about many things, then automatically it increases your chances of better orgasms. Something else that people have incorporated in order to enjoy orgasms is toys and fantasy. This is why things like BDSM, fetishes, and kinks exist. Just throwing yourself out there, learning more things about yourself sexually, getting to know what is it I enjoy, what do I like. There's this guy, another guy I also dated, he used to also like butt play. I didn't do butt play things with him because I wasn't comfortable yet with him to get there. But when I noticed this is the kind of stuff he liked, I would gift him sex stuff. Like I got him a butt plug. He told me it, even after tuachane, he told me that butt plug significantly improved his sex life. It just made things better for him. He uses it even when he's wanking because, your pressure hapo kwa prostate. It excites him, it makes him happier. And that generally makes me happier because through him communicating his needs, showing me what he liked, I was able to even gift him in a good way. So that's something he uses even after me, and I love it for him. And also mutual stimulation. This is something I like to do with my partner, like wanking together over the phone. It can be audio, it can be video, it can be in person. He's wanking here, you're wanking there, watching each other, turning each other on. You see, you can't do such things kama hauna confidence. Lazima ukuwe na confidence crazy. And I say the best way to build this confidence is if you guys have a connection and you're able to have proper communication about the sex you want. Then you can do all these crazy stuff with each other. Safety and consent. Nothing is as sexy as consent. Someone having discussions with me before sex, asking me questions, finding out if it's what I want, not just surprising me. There's so many times people have done things to me that shocked me, like we're making out and then he starts choking me and it's the first time we're making out. We've never even had a discussion about choking and stuff like that. And you've not even asked me for consent. That's weird. Or someone trying to put his penis in your butt without asking you or without finding out if it's something you're comfortable with. Bro, why would you do that? It's a whole conversation we have to have. And it's just really, really weird when people assume everything goes without having these discussions with their sexual partners. Remember, kama hakuna consent, hiyo ni rape ama coercion. Na pia coercion ni rape. Hata kama mko hapo together na huyo mtu hayuko comfortable and then you go ahead and do it, that's rape. Anytime you ignore someone wanting something or you do not figure out if they're comfortable, if you do not make them comfortable enough to want it, that's coercion, that's rape. That's why discussions, communication has to be very, very open before any sexual interactions. That's my opinion. That's what I feel. I feel like before we fuck, we've got to talk about it. I never put myself in situations where it's like, we've never brought sex up. The last time I did that, I really, really regretted it. It really hurt my feelings because it was just, you're too jinga, someone wanting to experiment with you to see what you're like when they really have no feelings for you or no care for you. It leaves you feeling very used when you leave the environment feeling, did I even consent? Like, okay, yeah, we were in that environment and things got steamy, but we've never really talked about this. Is this what I really, really wanted? And then you start to feel guilty because you didn't say no. So, meaning you accepted. So, is it really rape? It's just a whole gray area that I don't like. So, for that, I always say have the discussion before you have sex with each other. And for women, like I said, remember the clit is just like the penis. They have the same genetic makeup. Clitoral stimulation is a big yes, meaning these XY people, they have to know where the clit is. They have to find it. You have to demand that they find the clit because that's where the sensitive nerve endings are. That's what will stimulate you the most. That's where utamu iko. Some people nut from penetration, but largely most females, most women, they orgasm through clitoral stimulation. And this can be using the tongue, using manually, and also during sex. That's why scissoring inabambanga hivyo. Watu wanajipata I see tweets about lesbians talking about how they scissor for like 8 hours. It totally makes sense to me. It's possible. I feel like it's possible because that kind of stimulation, especially when you've used the rose toy, you know exactly what I mean. It's very, very overstimulating, but it's very, very enjoyable, and you orgasm faster than normal. So I'd say try new things. Focus on the foreplay. Na foreplay nimesema, foreplay si tunapatana unaanza kunishikashika na vidole zako chafu. Foreplay it starts from the way our relationship is, how we relate with each other, how we speak to each other, what we talk about, how you treat me, how you make me feel, how everything. It's about our conversation from that morning when you woke up. Good morning, beautiful. I miss you. I want to see you today. Can I take you out to dinner? It's not come to my house at 7:30. And this text is being sent at 6:30 p.m. Ati come to my house in 1 hour. And then unaenda unadinywa, anakwambia, I'm really, really busy. Your Uber is outside. I've called for you an Uber. Bro, hakuna stimulation, hakuna foreplay. It's the whole process. It's about how we laugh with each other, how we enjoy each other's company, how we relate, how we do things together. All of that is foreplay. And I would like for people to understand that the more you are kinder and the more there's satisfaction in this sexual relationship, the safer, the more comfortable, the better I feel, then the better the sex. Automatically, it's a direct correlation. If you don't talk to me, then we're not fucking. If you don't care about me, we're not fucking. It's not going to do anything for me. So I hope I've explained in my own little way what the G spot, the P spot, orgasms, foreplay, and things that improve orgasms in both women and men. Well, I hope you've been able to understand. Please feel free to ask me any questions that you might have. I'm interested to listen and to learn as well. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my blog, loveandorgasms.com. And right now, I'm able to take clients for one-on-one sessions where we discuss intimacy, relationships, sex. Ask me any questions, reach out to me, ask me how to book these sessions. I'm very, very available, and I'm very grateful for you guys for checking my stuff out. I've been seeing the feedback. It makes me so happy that everyone is willing to learn and willing to grow and willing to improve all their relationships, especially sexual and intrapersonal relationships. So please learn from this, and thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.